we're not friends on Facebook anymore, just so you know. I've known this for just a couple of minutes. The point here is I give people the opportunity to leave. I also admit when I screw up, and I do feel bad for the lady. That's one of the things about getting involved in a situation with somebody who's overwhelmed and in a screwed up situation, and they ask you to leave. I mean, really, the point is that you're serving no purpose. Now, there was stuff that I got wrong, and I definitely got it wrong. And I definitely spoke up and admitted that I got it wrong. I mean, what's the right thing to do in that situation? Fess up? Or to blame it on somebody else even after finding out I was wrong? Well, I'd rather fess up. It's not this lady's fault. Now, the stuff that she got wrong, that's her fault. I'm not going to take responsibility for her fuck-ups. That's just not a happening fucking thing. I'm not going to take responsibility for the reasons that people don't get it, don't understand, don't look at it, and don't speak up. I also understand her point of view and why on the little thing in Messenger it says this person is unavailable on Messenger. I understand that completely. Now, while there was stuff that I was wrong about, there's also a lot of stuff that I was right about. And the point isn't a I was right. It was a hey, we need to take a look at this. We need to fucking do something to change it. It shouldn't come down to somebody like her when there's so many people like Caitlin Tatum who were directly involved in the situation. Now, Michelle, she had this stuff in public. She did that herself, so there's no hiding it. And I suppose since she was willing to do that, it means she's got no problems with it being public because she put it up herself. So, one thing I do want to hope for and ask of y'all is that you not be mean or rude or cruel or inconsiderate. Because you got to understand, she's been posted and blasted on the internet. And also, almost half of what I said about her was completely wrong. It was incorrect information. And I should have fact-checked more thoroughly. There's a lot of stuff that I've been through. And this isn't an excuse, all right? This is a straight-up fact of the matter. I'm overwhelmed. There is too much on my plate, too much for one person to do, especially with the lack of resources that I have. The best resources that I have right now are some human beings who are doing some super things from some very small stations in life. People that you guys look down on. I mean, if you look at the situation in Tacoma, Washington, who is it to help me get my computer back? Was it meth addicts or was it the Tacoma Police Department? It was not the Tacoma Police Department, I can tell you that. Then, of course, there's a lot of people who are, they're down in the dirt themselves. We're talking about people who work at all sorts of restaurants, gas stations. Here in Oregon, we got so many people that work at gas stations that are homeless. They're glad to have that job. And I can't speak for every single one of them. And I'm not one of the people with one of those jobs. That's the thing about me being as screwed up as I am mentally. If I had my choice about it, I'd be a shut-in. I'd never go out in public. I wouldn't go talk to people. After the life I've lived, being treated like I'm some sort of an idiot because you don't understand my disabilities. My disabilities are primarily PTSD based, And that PTSD is from how you guys treat me. Kind of like that girl that committed suicide after cutting on herself for years. She didn't cut on herself because Daddy was raping her. He was raping her. But she started cutting on herself because Mama wouldn't listen. For whatever reason, Mama didn't listen. Daddy got away with doing that for years and years. Did Ted Bollinger care about his daughter before he pushed her to suicide? Did Rose M. Kelly care about Natalie before she pushed her daughter to suicide? Did Alicia Bollinger care about Natalie before she pushed her sister to suicide? Do they really care about her? Why did they do the things that they did? Why did they help Ted to get away with the things that he did? After Natalie died, both Natalie's ex-stepmothers told me that I had more of a reaction to her death than he did. Of course, then I also had a lot of people accusing me making GoFundMes and defrauding people of thousands of dollars. No, that was Ted Bollinger. I didn't get a single penny from them GoFundMes. I also didn't make them. One of them was made by Candace Bondurant. One of them was made by Cara Rogers. Both of these people gaslighted the shit out of me. One of them I knew in real life for over 20 years by the time she did that shit. Holy fuck. I'd like to get back to saving lives, but it's real difficult from this position. I'm away from all my allies. Many of them, they were down in the dirt, on the fringes of society. The only reason I was able to be as effective at what I did as I was is because I was in good with those folks. But what I saw after Natalie Bollinger was killed, man, I gotta tell you, making that announcement at the end of November of 2017, that I wasn't keeping any of y'all's secrets. That's important. Because I fucking meant it. Natalie Bollinger is not the only person who ended up dead over this. She's not the only person I care about who ended up dead over this. I already knew she was going to get killed. I knew she was either going to kill herself or somebody else was going to rape her and kill her. And I got a feeling that's what Lopez did. A lot of people have this theory that Natalie was a target of opportunity, and he picked Natalie because, well, he saw her Facebook after deciding she was pretty. Thought he could get away with it, and I'd take the blame. This is one of the reasons that I move away from my loved ones when they're threatened. When my little sister is that close to my predators that I'm trying to turn in, predators who are playing victim, if anybody decides to target of opportunity somebody like Leslie Snell, my sister and my niece may very well end up on the butcher's block. They may very well end up in the goddamn morgue. And I swear to fucking dog, I will fuck up the whole goddamn world. You don't get that. When people were literally calling me and telling me they were gonna take care of Miss Jerry, like, That's an indirect threat right there, but nobody fucking gave a shit. And Miss Jerry and I were not friends by that point. That was in between when Natalie disappeared and the last time I saw Natalie, which is October 18th, 2016. Right now, I'm trying to show you all the bias and the uphill battle that we face. And I've recorded therapists talking about the uphill battle and police officers talking about the uphill battle. These people all know that I've got an uphill battle, which is why they're not willing to do their jobs. That and the fact that I always have to go in alone. With Michelle, I'm glad she's got family. It's the holiday season. And she didn't deserve none of this. I went back and I took a look at when we became friends. She is absolutely right. I was fucking wrong, 100%. The other thing is, I do wholeheartedly believe that she'll tell the truth if called to court to do so. Which is the reason that her phone number is staying private. I don't think that she actually did what she did to try to be condescending or an asshole or uncaring. I think she legit didn't have the fucking time. She jumped into something and had a curiosity, and lo and behold, she didn't realize that I really needed help. I think it's important for people to know that, yeah, everybody's gonna fuck up, everybody's gonna make mistakes, and if we don't fess up to our mistakes, the world doesn't get better. We don't make lives better by ignoring the things that suck. We don't stop those things from happening by telling the victims to pretend it's not happening. And you guys don't get that when you tell them to let it go, to move on, to move elsewhere, to just stay away from their predators, you don't realize how much they have to go through in order to give you what you want. By the way, Merry Christmas. It is now Christmas Day everywhere in the United States, with the exception of portions of the Aleutian Islands and Hawaii. So, actually, that depends on where the international date line is. Hawaii might already be Christmas as well. So, Merry Christmas, everyone. In the words of Tiny Tim. What I'd like to leave y'all for Christmas is my Christmas corpse. Obviously, I'm not doing that. Speaking out, and obviously, I'm still trying to at least make amends the best I can by speaking up and admitting where I fuck up. Michelle is an unintended victim. The other thing is, shouldn't have been there. She was letting me know she was watching the videos of me talking to the FBI. She thought it was appalling, but she wasn't speaking up about it. Now, she did speak. Well, sort of. She typed on my YouTube channel in the comments section. Which is good because it allows me to have a record of it. But without her phone number, there would be no way for people to get in contact with her as far as investigators go. And the way that she's done it at least in a way where she's let me know that, yes, she's willing to tell the truth. She's also backed off appropriately, which is what I asked her to do to begin with. I'm glad she got the point. If you don't have the time, what I need you to do is admit that you don't have the time Telling me you don't have the time for 6 years is a far cry from what the police officers were saying. The fact that they were literally the officers that I was trying to turn in is even more fucked up situation. The last time I spoke to Natalie Bollinger before she died. Now there was on the 13th, after I'd made that post exposing her dad with the email she sent in 2016, she called me up that morning. I was still asleep. I mean, I wasn't sure if it was real or if it was something I'd imagined. She said I fucked up things way worse with her family. And I don't hallucinate shit, so it was probably something that really happened and I was half asleep. But prior to that, the last time I talked to her, I was in Virginia. And I had texted her that if her and her family wanted to take shit wrong or assume that I was trying to hurt them, or if they'd taken it that way, that I would leave and never talk to them again. And that really should have been where it ended. Natalie actually called me up on Alicia's number. They're twin sisters. They sound very much alike, and I couldn't tell the difference over the phone if it was her or Alicia. Oh, ambulance. But she said she loved me and that her family was scared of me and not to talk to them again. So I blocked her and her sister. I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just unfriended them because I'm sure, once they thought about it for a few minutes, they probably could have tried and maybe even did try to make amends. But with me blocking them, they weren't able to do that. When they spread rumors to Maddie Boa, I want to say it was like November 11th of 2016, so it wasn't very long after I left Virginia that I unblocked them and tried to let her know what was on. I posted up those screenshots. Now here's the thing with Michelle, like she should have never been involved. It never should have come down to some lady that got a hold of me through a web sleuth group. But the same thing with Carl Rogers, same deal. Same thing with Sally Treon and Layla Johnson and Dan Fabert, all of these people through these web sleuth groups, and Shannon Alvarado too. Like all the people that I had to go to because my friends in real life, like Caitlin Tatum, just didn't fucking care. Michelle isn't one of the people that was straight up playing fucking head games with me. She also came out straight up with her real name. And she came out straight up with her real name publicly. You got no idea the mad respect I got from Miss Michelle. Now, the stuff that she fucked up, she definitely fucked up. I'm not going to pretend that she didn't, but I am not also in that same aspect there. I'm not going to pretend that I can't understand where she fucked up, or I can't understand, especially given as screwed up as I botched this thing. Like most of the people that I tell you about, I'm absolutely right about. Go back and I check it, and the thing is that I was having a panic attack and I was trying to get rid of people that are on my Facebook not doing any good, just being a waste of space and a waste of time, people who offered to help and then just ignored me. Like, what the fuck, go away, you're not a friend. Michelle deserves a happy Christmas. She deserves a loving Christmas. She works 2 jobs. That ain't easy. Now, I can't verify that she works 2 jobs. I don't know the lady. I do know where she works. No, I'm not going to go stalking that information. The fact is, I have her phone number and I have her testimony. I also have my admission to guilt because, god damn it, I fucked up big. I fucked up big. I didn't fuck up big with Natalie Bollinger. I understood why I was the bad guy in that situation and why, in their minds, they were being that way. I understood how drugs were a major contributing factor in that. With Michelle, ain't none of that the case. Like, she doesn't know me. Many of these people, like Sarah Bacon, of course, she don't know me either. I shouldn't have had to depend on Sarah Bacon. Candace Bondurant knew me in real life, and instead of telling the truth, she wanted to fuck with my head and bullshit me. People I knew in real life treated me like hell, and complete and total strangers did me better than that. This Michelle lady, man, I gotta tell you, she did send me $50, and I'm not gonna downplay that like it's nothing. But like I said, in the scheme of all this, that's just a drop in the pond. I still gotta come up with that pretty much every day in order to try to keep up a homeless lifestyle out here. That's in addition to my disability money. It's fucking expensive. And people don't become familiar with my situation or take the time. I'm expected to understand why they can't. Why it's so important to make calls with me. And why it's so important for them to not to push something that I've already tried. They need to stop and look at the fact that I have already tried and understand what the loopholes are. Understand what the roadblocks are. Understand what you're getting into before you get into it, before you commit to it. And yes, Michelle Stuart committed, or not rather committed, but she stated a commitment that was not capable of being fulfilled due to no fault of my own. 5% battery I got in this video. Anyway, Natalie, fucking goddamn. Much like the situation with Natalie, I can see where I'm the bad guy in this situation. Or can be construed as such. Unlike the Natalie situation, like I said, I'm the one that fucked up here. Me. This is my fuck up. This is my mistake. Mine. Now this lady, Michelle Stewart, she lives in a state that I can't go to without fear of retaliation by police for trying to tell on them. That's because they've retaliated against me for trying to tell on them previously. I gotta be smart about this. Michelle, she does deserve a happy Christmas. She also deserves some sort of penance or compensation. I mean, seriously, you don't just fix something like this. This isn't like the situation with Lana and Amanda Engeline where they fucked up big because they're selfish pieces of shit. This isn't like the situation with Jerry where she was wanting to cover up her own stupidity. This isn't like the situation with Brenda Dickinson. This isn't like the situation with any of these people who knew me and knew what was going on and did absolutely nothing and said absolutely nothing and just let it happen. This is a poor innocent soul trying to do the right thing who got caught in a crossfire. There's a lot of people who did a lot worse things than she did, and they did them intentionally and mean. And here's the thing, Michelle did not deserve what she got from me. I'm also not taking it down. And there's a reason I don't take it down. It's because I fucked up. I did that. Why am I going to hide from my fuck ups? Why am I going to admit to my worst sins on Facebook before Natalie's death and not keep that up? I know what happens if I don't tell the truth. I know what happens. They get to pretend that I'm a liar no matter what I say. And with Michelle, this doesn't bring out any. This makes it worse. This is something that can be used by my predators to try to pretend like I was like this with all of them, with every one of them. Like every single one of them was a poor innocent Michelle. A poor innocent Michelle Stuart. And even Michelle isn't innocent, but at the same time, she is a victim at this point. And she is a victim because of my stupidity. Yes, my situation is super complicated, and anybody in this situation would have the same problems. And that is understandable, same as her issues are understandable. And that's one of the keys here to understanding all of this. People want to say, stop blaming me. No, 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 no. Understand your part. Understand the effects that it has not just on you, but also on others. And understand that when somebody tells the truth about you, it's not out of malice. And when somebody admits that they screwed up, if they're willing to admit it publicly that they screwed up, that shows true remorse. That shows actual remorse. For those of you religious folks, that's called professing by mouth. And it's a key component to the Christian religion. There's also the act of repenting. Repenting, I know the evangelical TV view that is sold to the American public. The idea that you can do whatever you want in life and destroy any life that you want through lies and slander and malice and sin. And right before you die, you say, in the name of Jesus, my Lord and Savior, please forgive me for my sins. And you get to go into this magic kingdom. Better than Disneyland. Mm-mm. That ain't how it works. There's only a handful of people that I legit fucked over in this situation. A handful. And I've admitted to all of them, and where I fucked up, and why I fucked up, and the situations that led up to them fuck ups. Now, her profile is public, and her photograph is public. So I haven't done anything wrong by posting it up. I want you guys to flag the shit out of it. Those of you who hate me ought to enjoy the fuck out of this. But I want you guys to let the world know what Michelle has had to go through. I want you guys to let everybody know that she is a victim of mine. Whether intentional or unintentional, the fact is she is. I know the potential hazards for her because of the things that I said. And the parts that were wrong were wrong. She's absolutely correct. I was wrong. I was typing multiple things with multiple people and trying to get rid of a whole bunch of these hangers on from the Natalie Bollinger situation, from when Natalie Bollinger died, and people who had made promises and going through and taking screenshots all the way to the very beginning of when we first started talking. And, well, Michelle came on after Natalie died, and I didn't know her in real life, but, the thing is, she didn't come onto the situation or onto the scene until 2021 or 2022. Her information is important. The things that she has to say about the situation are important. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I can't allow myself to feel bad about because I have to worry about my loved ones. I'm also not going to leave Michelle Stuart hanging. That's fucked up. If I'm going to bitch at my friends about how I'm taking abuse because they fucked up, because they didn't come forward, because they wouldn't admit where they fucked up, they wouldn't admit that they screwed up, and it got Natalie Bollinger killed. Well, I do the right thing here. I admit that I screwed up. Somebody should. And although Michelle necessarily, she might get on and see it. She might be done with the situation entirely, and I'm fine with that. She has done the appropriate thing by removing herself from my friends list, which is what I asked for to begin with. And I am very glad that she's done that. It's actually safer for her and safer for her family if she doesn't like me, or at least pretends not to like me. She's less likely to be targeted by the people who don't like me. The people I called out publicly deserved it, but not Michelle. Michelle should have been go quietly into the night and not be a second thought. That's one of the things about if you're not well known in a homeless community and you get there and you realize everybody's on heroin and everybody's on meth, and you're not into heroin or meth, and there ain't nothing in the area for anybody except those who are on heroin or meth, no services unless you're on drugs. It's okay to slip quietly out the back door and go, this ain't for me. And that should have been the situation with Michelle Stuart. She should have been able to slip out the back door in the middle of the night and never been a second thought. And she got caught in the middle of a really messed up situation that really just... I'm not going to take all of the blame. She made mistakes too. Anyway, this is a pretty long video. I'm going to go say Merry Christmas to them folks inside and then grab my stuff. I came out here for a cigarette and I decided to make an apology instead, and I think it's kind of rude to leave my stuff unattended in there for this long. Also, since they haven't had a customer in a while, they might close it down for the evening, even though they said they're going to keep it open. Oh, I guess they just had a customer. There's a lot of stuff that happens out here. A lot of real dirty things that, well, you guys hear about on the news, but you want to tell yourself that couldn't happen to you, it couldn't happen to your loved ones. Well, for us out here, on the streets. Even a lot of these addicts are our loved ones. A lot of these alcoholics are still our loved ones.